Okay. Okay, sorry, I will start from the beginning. Good morning from Indonesia, everyone. I hope you have a great day. First of all, I would like to thank the audiences and the speakers in this breakout room for your participation in this event, in this session. And I'm also very pleased to see you here and welcome all of you, friends, to this event in commemoration of Iyclac Day, Language Month, and the 29th anniversary of Esa Unggul University. The Language and Culture Institute, together with Iyclac and the Hangari Korean Club of Esa Unggul University, is holding the first international youth conference on language and culture. This event actually includes students from several universities in Indonesia and also other countries and around the world to share experiences, creative ideas, and input based on our topic today about preserving youth identity and multicultural society. Okay, but here is my picture. Let me introduce myself. My name is Vanessa Angelica. I am actually from English education program. I'm on my second year, almost third year. I am from Esa Unggul University. Okay, now let me introduce you guys to our speakers today. We have 6 speakers. The first one is Reza Fahmi Afandi from Esa Unggul University, Indonesia. The second one, we have Larissa Dominic Effendi Handajani from Surabaya University. The third, Nurul Maisarah binti Abdul Hakim from University Malaysia Terengganu. And the fourth, we have Daniel Santiago Valencia from Chepa Business School, Colombia. The fifth, we had Kachapum Suryapongpun from Mevalwang University, Thailand. And the last one, Milenia Saraswati from NHI Bandung Tourism Polytechnic, Indonesia. Okay, let me explain a little bit of the rules for this session. The first one, all of the attendants, speakers, and audiences are required to turn on the camera and use the virtual background that has been provided during the event. I think all of you already used the virtual background. So the second one, the participant ID or your account name on Zoom must use the real name, not the Davis name, initial, or pseudonym. You can see the example in the PPT. The third, the duration of the presentation for each speaker is 5 minutes. And if the time already passed 4 minutes, I will remind the speaker about the remaining time and will cut off the presentation if the time is up. And the last one, the Q&A session will start after all of the speakers already presented their materials. Audiences and other speakers can ask to the speaker they want to ask by using raise hand, or you can type in the chat box for the questions. Okay, I think that's all for the rules. And I forgot about this one. The speaker will share their own materials. Okay, but if you have any hard time to share your screen, I will be doing the tags. Do you guys have any question before we start to the first speaker? No?
Sorry, I want to ask about the virtual background because I don't have it.
Oh, Melania already sent the virtual background for everyone. You want to use that? Okay, any questions? Any more questions? If not, please allow me to welcome the first speaker. The first one is Reza Fahmi Avanti from Esa Unggul University. You can prepare to share your screen, please, Reza.
Can you see my screen? Okay. Hello everyone. Good morning from Indonesia. I hope you're all well. First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Reza Fahmi. I'm from Jakarta, Indonesia. Here I wanna present about my lovely city. Entitled Jakarta, the place for diversity. Jakarta as a home for nomads. Before becoming a capital city of Indonesia, Jakarta was once a meeting place for traders from abroad. Therefore, the natives of Jakarta reversed to Jakarta as paradise for nomads. In addition, many give the nickname Jakarta as mini Indonesia and something like that. So, newcomers who come to Jakarta are welcome friendly, no matter where they are come from. The first day in Jakarta is a sign of solid unity. As long as we recognize differences, we acknowledge unity. Therefore, difference is very important as diversity. You can see in my slide, Indonesia is a nation of 2017 million people. And Jakarta is a city with a population of 11 million people, but there are no groups in Indonesia that are not represented in this city. Jakarta is the main destination for nomads from all over Indonesia who bet their fate to survive. The type of diversity in Jakarta. The type of diversity in Jakarta we can see in here. Language diversity, ethnic diversity, and religious diversity. The official language spoken in Jakarta is Indonesia, Bahasa Indonesia. The language of daily conversation in Jakarta is Indonesia with the Betawi accents, something like lo and gue. Regional languages are also used by groups of people from other regions like Sundanese, Javanese, Sumatranese, Bataknese, or something like that. It's very diverse. And ethnic diversity, Jakarta is miniature of Indonesia. Almost all ethnic group in Indonesia we meet in Jakarta, such as Javanese and Betawinese, of course, Sundanese. In addition, there are Acehese, Bataknese, Ambonese, Makassarnese, and others. Religious diversity in Jakarta, embraced by Jakartans, are quite diverse. Muslim with 85%, Protestant Christian is 6%, Catholic is 4%, Buddhist 3%, and Hindu 0.13%. As I mentioned earlier, Jakarta is a very diverse city. Jakarta has several kinds of differences. As you can see in the slide, the type of diversity such as language, ethnicity, and religion is very strong in Jakarta. The effect of diversity in Jakarta. Jakarta is a place for many groups in the name of religion, ethnicity, and culture. This diversity makes a people who live in Jakarta must uphold the value of tolerance among others so as not trigger conflict in diversity. Besides that, there are negative and positive sides in diversity in Jakarta. The negative side, prone to misunderstanding. Misunderstanding is something that must be avoided because misunderstanding between people and group can trigger a conflict. Several years ago, there was misunderstanding between local people and the Irian mass group in Tanah Abang, Jakarta, Central Jakarta. This misunderstanding was the trigger for quite large claims and resulted in several people being rushed to the hospital with injuries. Even though the citizen of Jakarta expect tolerance, it's other, it cannot be denied that there's still some provocateurs would trigger in a commotion in Jakarta. And the positive side of diversity in Jakarta is football for unity.
Okay, Fahmi, sorry, but your time is up.
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah.
You're right. Jakarta is really have a diversity. There's so many diversity in Jakarta. Thank you for your presentation. It was great presentation. It's nice to know a little bit more about Jakarta. So we will go to the next speakers. Is it? It is Clarissa. I'm sorry, Fahmi, but you can share screen your material, please.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to ask, is my share screen clear?
Yes, but I cannot hear you very clear. Clear. Sorry.
How about now?
Okay, you can start.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So firstly, hello everyone. I hope you all have a good day. Before I start my speech, let me introduce myself. I'm Clarissa Dominic from University of Surabaya. First of all, I want to say thank you for Esa Unggul University for having me here. It is such an honor to meet all of you great people from all over the world. It's nice to meet and know all of you. So on this occasion, I'm going to discuss about no fear in diversity. Before we jump into the topic first, we have to understand what is diversity. Diversity is what makes each of us unique. It includes our background, personality, experience, belief, education background, and all the things that make us who we are. That's why everyone has their own thought, their own point of view, and of course, their own styles. And this is what makes us different. Unfortunately, sometimes it becomes like a barrier for us to achieve our best version or our goals in the community. As we know that there are many problems occur because of people who do not accept the diversity. Now, let me spill a bit about my background. I'm currently having a bachelor degree in University of Surabaya that consists of many people from all around Indonesia. Hence, we are very well known about diversity. Even though we are in the middle of a lot of difference, we are trying our best to respect each other. My university, on the other hand, also support us to be the best version of ourselves in the community and also help us achieve our goal. It's like a great life in diversity. Therefore, if I'm able to live and grow in University of Surabaya with lots of diversity, and I believe so will you. Then the next question is, how could we achieve that? Here I will give 4 practical steps to achieve it. Firstly, of course, we need to accept the difference first. Accepting the difference, we will not judge other peoples because of their background or how they react to something. When we can accept the difference, there will be no discrimination. The second step is to understand and recognize the difference itself by having the cultural literacy. Having the cultural literacy could take us to the next step, which are empathy, tolerance, and also inclusion. This is done so that there is no misunderstanding occurs due to the different culture we have, which will lead us to have a broad network of friends, not segmented one. Next is we have to grow our tolerance toward diversity. By being tolerant, we can live, work, and also happy in that diverse environment. In this stage, we should be able to accept and treat someone with different background as we are willing to be treated. We shouldn't judge or label someone as a good, bad, desirable, undesirable, but we should respect and appreciate the difference. The most important thing is we see them as an equal human being instead of inferior or defiant. Finally, the last stage is inclusiveness, where we are open to all inputs and want to be friends with all people without discrimination. At the end of the day, inclusion is something that we are going to achieve, which will create a harmonious community. When this is achieved, then everyone would feel valued and respected. Each of us will get the same opportunity to contribute our personal best and use our talents to enhance the organization or community that we fit in. Therefore, it can be concluded that understanding other people's culture is very important. Moreover, many sources state that there are various of Indonesian culture that are on verge of extinction and some has already extinct, including the vernacular and traditional. Therefore, there is an urgency of Indonesia's cultural preservation. It is important that to not only know the culture, but also live in the diversity it takes. Therefore, to have a great diverse community, we should be inclusive and have cultural intelligence. So what is cultural intelligence? Cultural intelligence itself is the ability to recognize and adapt to the cultural difference. Here, emotion is also play a central role through how we can accept, learn, tolerate, and also become inclusive. And this is when the cultural literacy and cultural intelligence plays a role to provide a new point of view and experience the diversity. Finally, let me close this presentation with a quote from Najwa Shihab. She said that yang harus dibabat adalah egoisme dan kebencian. Yang mesti dirajut adalah solidaritas dan kepedulian. Or in English, it can be said that what must be turned down is egoism and hatred, and what must be met is not solidarity and care. Therefore, let's go to know the culture around us, accept the difference, and with an inclusive spirit. That's all from me. Thank you for the opportunity and have a great day.
Okay. That was great presentation. You're right about you should respect each other culture. That was really great presentation from Clarissa. Thank you so much. Should we go to the next speaker? Is that Sarah from Malaysia? Okay. You can share your PPT.
Share the screen, please.
Oh, you need my help. Okay, wait a minute.
Sure, share.
Is this one?
Yeah.
Okay, you can start.
All right, thank you very much for these opportunities, University Esa Unggul. All right, so today my topic, which is the vision board, which is the culture drives behaviors. Dear audience, nice to meet you all. Here you go. Imagine that when you move to the different country, actually there are the ways that you can relate to the culture. So can we go to the next slide, please? Here I would like to share some guidance, a few guides or tips that we can use when we go to the travel. First, we have the number one, confront. Confront. What the meanings of the confronts? Confront means that we believe that your behaviors are the right behavior, which means that you trust yourself to do some things when you are travels. For number two, complaints. You have to make sure that you isolate yourself into the social bubbles, which what happens is that you will isolate yourself into a social bubbles of foreigners living in the segregations with the society. So for the imagine that when you adapt your way to behave, when you conform to the whole society, which is number 3 point, to the whole society, then you can truly benefit from diversity. But it implies that you are observing, which is observing, you are learning, you are understanding the behaviors of others, and you can adapt your own so that it fits with the behavior of the society you are in. So for the next slide, why culture commutes behavior? All right, here are the tips. You have to make sure that you see the world through cultural glasses. Why? Because the lens through which your brain see the world shape your realities. If you can change the lens, make sure that not only you can change the way your brain perceive behavior, but you can change the way people relate to multicultural or cultural diversities. So let's move on to the next slide. All right. So which is when we embedded within that statement, this is the key, which is we can benefit from the diversities, the tips that I share with you, because multicultural will give that unique sensibility. Thank you very much for your attention. Thanks very much.
I actually have 2 minutes left. Do you want to use your time or not? Sorry, your mic is mute.
All right. So another additions that I would like to add. The important things when you put yourself in other people's shoes. In other words, in order to really to develop a full understanding of the multicultural, which is this is related actually when the multicultural is related to our mental health also, because we should understanding which is the individuals in the context. When we learn from the various slide, which is the Prof Vita, I mean Vita or Vita, next slide, the speakers, the last speakers, I mean the speakers last that's talking with us, that he said that the perspective and the context are very important for the multicultural diversities, because we never know what the future holds, right? So making a new friends is a very special reward from the diversities, because everybody knows wants to feel value, want to feel satisfied, right? And when we think it should be a spontaneously, but it doesn't. So when you are in the difference, you have to work at your belongings, and you have to bring yourself into the other shoes, so that you will that satisfies the multiculturals around yourself. So you have to be either smart individual, and also funny people, and should be a very helpful person, because anything in my opinion, it will be cool for the crowds when you have the crowd situation, you have to hang out with the new friends in front or around your universities. So you will make sure that when you have the characteristics, the funny characteristics or something else, the positive characteristics, you will have like attract the people, to make sure that attract the new people, the new multicultural peoples.
Okay, I think your time is up.
To offer.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So you said like you have to make a new friends adapting to diversity, right? That was really great.
Yep, that's good. Thank you
Explanation.
Very much.
Yes. Okay, so let's move on to the fourth speaker, Daniel. Are you ready, Daniel? Do I need to share your screen too, or
No, not at all. I'm just turning like this, my cell phone light on so that you guys can actually see me. I'm gonna try to then present. Give me one more second, please. Um, there. Please let me know if you guys can see it full screen. I'm gonna try to be very precise with time.
I can see your
Because
screen very well.
you can see it.
Yes.
Beautiful. Lovely, guys. Well, good evening from South America, from Colombia. Good morning to everybody in Indonesia. My name is Daniel Valencia. I come from SEPA Business School in Colombia. And what I want to show you guys is a way for you guys to also identify or feel how we can preserve youth through learning and multiculturalism. So here we go then. Um, First thing that we want to talk about, guys, or that I want to bring you guys into is how do we understand youth, right? There are several authors that can actually talk about youth, right? In the general consensus, I would say, people saying that it is, a population in between 15 and 35 years old. So those above 35 years old, don't feel afraid, right? I'm going to show you guys how you can continue feeling young. And those under 15 years old, then they have a long way to go, right? Ahead of them. Now, it's something really interesting that we can, discuss and that we can show because youth is something that might be a little bit subjective. This is definitely a demographic study, right? In terms of how we can identify and classify youngsters us who are, let's say, above maybe 35, and then perhaps, we have that fear like, oh my God, I'm not young anymore. I'm going to show you guys how that actually works. If we compare and then if we start talking about what is young to us, right? Can we say that maybe the person on the left is young and he's kind of like doing something good for their life? Or what about the young guy, let's say, that is just laying down, being lazy, enjoying just a quiet time? Is he old because he doesn't want to do exercise? I just want to raise these questions, guys. Rhetorical questions, right? For you guys to also think about how you guys perceive youngsters and what young means for you guys. Now, let's think a little bit about how learning works, right? When we are learning, we are going over a whole new path. And there is a lot of, let's say, things that we can actually either a new language or maybe a new skill or maybe something that we need to actually let's say integrate into our competencies or our life, right? Now when we look into this picture, you guys think maybe the parent is learning a lot more, or do you guys think the kid is learning how to tie how to make a tie knot, right? It's a really good question. Who is learning from who, and maybe who is learning more? Or maybe is the old person not learning enough because they're old already? Again, another question for us to think about. Now, if we move into multiculturalism, this author, like Barakoska, back in 2013, mentioned that one of the purposes of multiculturalism would be making sure that everything can align into making someone appreciate other people's cultural varieties, something what Utah and something that Sagdia were mentioning, right? Multiculturalism and all of the perception and all of the context that we put into things might be, right? So moving fast to this, what about having a multicultural team that brings all kinds of competencies to the things that we can actually learn? Something really good at finance, or someone creative, or someone who's really good at developing people, or someone who's really good at audiovisual. And that doesn't mean that multicultural people cannot take advantage of those things and that we cannot learn from that. So if we continue learning, guys, through multiculturalism and what other cultures bring to us, then that is definitely something that is going to continue making us feel that we are young, that we continue learning, that we're probably defeating age, right? And so, what do you guys think that maybe within your cultures you can bring to other people's cultures, right? That's what I wanted to bring to you guys today. Thank you so much for hearing me out. Um, and I wanted to also ask how much time I have because there are so many things that we would like to discuss. And
Actually,
I'm not sure.
you have about
Yes.
10 seconds left.
Okay. That's
But
fine. But thank you so much. Thank you so much,
yes,
guys. Thank you, Vanessa.
but that was
Appreciate it.
amazing presentation, Daniel. I really like how you mentioned about how to see something from different perspective or perception, like our keynote speakers present.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, let's move on to the fifth speaker, Kachapum.
Yeah, wait a minute. Share my screen. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
It's already sharing, right?
Yes. You can start
Okay.
now.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kashapum Suryapongpan, and I'm a first-year student in software engineering major at the School of Information Technology, Esa Unggul University in Thailand. Today's presentation will be on preserving youth identity in multicultural society. Consequently, the aspect of my culture that I believe should be preserved is means of showing respect. First, I would like you to understand the origins of paying in respect in Thailand. It's supposed to be transmitted through Hinduism and Buddhism from the Indian civilization, as demonstrated by the depiction of the clay seal of the Indus Valley civilization. The same communion has been performed for the past 4,000 years. When Thais adopt the culture of whaling, it was adapted to suit the manner of life, time, place until it became a traditional and culture of Thailand. So, what is distinction between respect and reverence in Thailand? There are 3 levels of respect. Therefore, the first for respecting, having thing, we will place our hand together like this, And so after that, we will put our thumbs near to our eyeball like this for holy thing to respect for that. So the second one is for respect someone who is elder than you, we will put the same thing like this, but in the nose, near the nose like this. Also, the last one is about respect someone who is the same age like us. So we will put to the chin like this. So how about we respond to the individuals person who is younger than us? We just put the same like this, but on the chest like this. That's all. So next we shall discuss about advantages and downsides. Consequently, the visible benefit foster sometimes is about sentiments of trust, safety, and well-being. But downsides include occasionally creating space for your bodies, as Thai youth no longer use that anymore, because nowadays we have a lot of things we have from Western culture, we have from a lot of friends do not do like that because it to make a lot of space for them, and it's not fun when you're trying to make friends like that. That's why it's very downside. So benefits, another benefits thing that I think is very good, as you can see in the COVID situation, about it can make the space. You cannot just touch your hand together, or you cannot hug it together to infect that from COVID-19. You can get far away and just do like this. Okay, I respect you. Hello, guys, everyone. Something like that. It would be nice together. And benefit things that I think is about is make us to understand and make the other person think us feel good. Someone who respect you is make you feel so good when you try to respect the other too. It's very common thing in human, because when you see someone elder, you seem empathic or something like that to help them. So the first thing that Thai people will do is respect someone who is elder. Even this time, a lot of mother Thai people do not care about that much, but it's a really important part that we need to concern about this one, because it's a really good one to keep it our mind, and we can use it in the future to respect the other person don't have to touch our hand together sometimes, because like I said before, it's because the situation. But disadvantages that like I said before is the same thing, because it can make space, and not everybody want respect things to the other, because we have a Western culture, we have many cultures that are different from us. That's why.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I think your time is up.
Thank you.
Yes, that was really interesting presentation. By the way, I think everyone in this room got to know a little bit about Thai culture because you mentioned a little bit of it, which is very cool. Okay, and I think we have to move on quickly to our last speaker, which is Millennia.
Hello. So actually, it's kind of plot twist because me and Kachapu have the same format of the presentation, and I suddenly really actually
It's all right.
no, but actually this is so funny because I just get surprised because me and Kachapu have the same format. So it's like exactly how the diversity actually inside of the diversity, that's actually the same things that we have, something else like that. So I think I'm just share it by myself, or but it's okay, just by the moderator. Thank you so much, moderator, for the time. So actually, hello everybody, hello fellas. Good morning from Indonesia. My name is Mania Saraswati and I'm from NHI Bandung Tourism Polytechnic. Actually, I'm not from Bandung. Actually, I was born in Jakarta, but my parents is from Japanese and I have the study in Bandung. So it's just like the diversity is already inside of me. Okay, so next slide, please, Vanessa. Okay, thank you so much, Vanessa. So we talk about the multicultural first. Based on according of Oxford Language Dictionary, multicultural is relating to or constituting several cultural or ethnic groups within a society. Just like in Indonesia, multicultural is Indonesia. Indonesia contains with a lot of islands, a lot of city, a lot of provinces. We have Javanese, Polynesian, and etc. And not only in Indonesia, world is also multicultural too. As we know, world is contained with a lot of country. Like here in this Zoom meeting room, there's Kachapum that's from Thai, Sarah that's from Malaysia, Daniel that's from Colombia, and all my friends fellows from Indonesia. We have a multicultural in this world. Okay, next slide, Vanessa, please. Okay, thank you so much. So today's world is in a day is in the digitalization era where people can access every information easily and only use their phone. Like the small things, they can access everything from the small things. So we can learn and know about others' culture. Like I can search about the Thai culture, about the Colombia culture, and etc. And I also can have friends from another country too, and we can exchange about our culture information and etc. And because of this era, we have a multicultural inside of ourselves. Like me, I actually have a lot of cultural inside of me. Like I can talk in Balinese, a little bit of Balinese word. Like when I say no, I will say like sing. This is a Balinese word. If I say there's no things or maybe like empty, I will say like sing ada, something else like that. Or maybe if in Japanese, I can say like ora or mboten and etc. Something else like that. We can say that's like one of the example of the multicultural. And this is because of the digitalization. I actually learned some of the language like Latinos and etc. through my phone, something else. And maybe next slide, Vanessa. Okay, thank you so much. Looking at a lot of multicultural that we have, like how we already searching for it through our phone and etc. We can see that we live in the multicultural society. We live in the multicultural world, and how to face the multicultural, how to keep ourselves have the cultural identity like we are was born. First, we can have the sympathy and empathy, and then respect or appreciative, tolerance, cooperation, multicultural education, inclusive democracy, and anti-discrimination. It's actually already explained by Clarissa in the presentation before, and I just make it a little bit breakdown. There's a sympathy, empathy, respect, and appreciative. And not only those points, the last but not least points that is also important is nationalism. If you already respect each other, sympathy and empathy each other between a different culture, you still have to need nationalism inside of your blood. So you will stay with your culture identity. You will not forget it. Okay, next slide, Vanessa. All right. So we can choose between acculturation and culture assimilation. The acculturation is where you mix the both of your culture or maybe two or three culture, but you still keep on the culture identity between of the culture. And the culture assimilation is you mix one or two or more culture with yours, and then you're forgetting about the culture identity. So it's just like you make a new culture, but as time passes by, your culture identity will lost and doesn't access anymore. Okay, next slide, Vanessa. All right, thank you so much. Culture assimilation might happen, but we can control it to keep our culture identity access because as we know, culture identity is just like our identity. So when the culture identity is doesn't access anymore, it just seems like our identity is doesn't access anymore too. All right, first is know
I'm
your
very sorry, Melania, but I think your time is up. 5 minutes is
your
such
time.
a short time, but that was incredible presentation from
Thank
you.
you so much.
I just want to explain a little bit about your presentation. You are right about in this era we could easily encounter so many cultures with our phones, right? That's why I think we have to respect and appreciating each other cultures. Thank you. So I think we have to move on to the Q&A session. The Q&A, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The audience can ask to each speaker or generally to all of the speaker or other speaker can ask to another speaker.
Because the time is already.
Does anyone have questions to the speakers? Okay, Dimas, you can ask. You can type on the chat box or say it orally.
Okay, I want to ask actually, this is a general, this question is general to all of the speaker, but maybe I hope that the speaker from your nation can answer the question too, because we have talked about the multicultural, but how about if there's some culture that not recognized with the constitution of the country? Like, I mean, in example, in Indonesia, we not accept that the atheism because of in our identity card there should be a religion that we choose, and Indonesian just recognized with a six religion like an Islam, Christian, Buddhist, Hindus, and then Konghucu, and then Catholic, like that. And if someone not choose any religion, so that person cannot be the citizen of Indonesian, because to be a citizen of Indonesian you should have a religion in your identity card. But the atheism is a culture too, but that's culture it's not accepting by our constitution. How about that?
Okay, thank you, Dimas. I think it's about religion, right? So what do you think?
Okay, thank you very
Which
much.
speaker want to answer the questions by Dimas?
We still have the next station in the main room.
I think Dimas especially asked to the Indonesian speaker. So Reza, Clarissa, or Milenia can answer that. Or maybe Daniel. Maisar or Kachapum can also answer the question.
I think I would go not to take away the word from Indonesians, right? But I think I would go for something that is very natural to culture and to identity, which is even though you might have a certain, let's say, you might have certain information within your identity card, right? It doesn't necessarily identify you as a person, nor does it identify your culture, right? I might be putting maybe an example that is not necessarily religious, but think about transgender people, right? If they have an identity card that has a male name, right, but they identify themselves as women, they're still women, and that's how they identify themselves. That's how they recognize themselves. That's how they interact with the world. Therefore, should we name them the way how the identity card is, or should we name them the way how they identify themselves as? So I would go for just what the person really identifies with, and how they see the world, how they interact with the world, right? Not necessarily being the identity card, but that's a very valid point, Dimas. And it's also very curious because I didn't have the single idea that that was actually something that happened in Indonesia. I hope that answers the question somehow as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Daniel, for answering not the questions that Dimas asked, but actually it's kind of similar situation. Okay, uh, in Indonesia, that's right. We have to have a religion in our ID card, so it is a must. Okay, so let's move on to. I think we have to answer just one questions because we don't have so much time left. Um, Two general questions. I will pick one. How do we become multicultural sensitive individuals? Anyone can answer that. I think we have about 2 minutes left before we have to take a group photo. Does anybody want to answer that question?
All right. So may I answer the question, Vanessa?
Yes, you may, please.
Thank you so much. So actually, how do we become multicultural sensitive individuals? So it's actually, correct me if I'm wrong. So it's actually how we sensitive about the multicultural. Is it right? Okay. Okay. So actually, this is very interesting question. That's the reason why I really want to answer this one. I was have a little experience about the multicultural because like what did I already say? I was born in Jakarta, not in Jakarta, I mean like in South Tangerang, and then I live in the Jakarta, I live in the Bandung, and also I have friends from USA too, if that you want to know. It's from California too, and then I have friends from the Pennsylvania, something else like that, and sometimes we exchange about our culture and etc. And okay, sure, Vanessa. So, how do we become multicultural sensitive individuals? Just like first is be yourself first. Know your cultural identity first, and then after that, know that in this world, there's not only you live in this world. There's a lot of people that have different things from you, live in the same world like you. So just accept it, respect it, and tolerance about it. So you don't have to fight between the opinions and something else like that. That's the point of my life actually. So just so.
Okay, thank you for your quick and brief explanation. I think we have to take a group photo for documentation. Please, everyone, turn on your camera and say cheese. Quick documentation. Okay. Well, we have 2 slides. I will take 2 times. Okay. For the first slide, please say cheese, everyone. Okay. Next one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. Please do not leave the Zoom. Please go back to the main room because we have a little bit session left in the main room. Okay, so thank you everyone.